We're going to head to the MCG now because North Melbourne somehow recorded their second victory of the year, this one against Richmond a little earlier today. In the end, it was just the 4 points that separated the two sides, Kane. But I feel like the Tigers and Adamuse, they'll really be ruining some missed opportunities because this was a very winnable game.
So let's take a look at a couple of these. So McAuliffe there, like not easy shot, but that's probably a 7 out of 10 you'd hope to kick as an AFL footballer. And then Taranto finds himself in all sorts of space inside forward 50. He's usually a pretty reliable set shot, Tim Taranto, but wasn't able to cope with this moment. So either of these two goes through and they win. Just the 3 effective kicks on the day for Tim Taranto. Unfortunately, they had moments going inside forward 50. The big intercept mark from Toby Pink, who did a pretty good job on Tom Lynch and took a couple of intercept marks in the last quarter, was able to hold up and their defence was able to hold up. But look, for Richmond to get this close and nearly win it when they are 5 years behind in a rebuild and when they've completely got rid of their best and most senior players and have rebuilt, I think it's a real credit to Adamuse for the season that he's having. There's now a identifiable game plan that we weren't able to see last year. They're really competitive. They'll only win 5 or 6 games for the year, but I think Richmond fans will be really happy with the level of effort and improvement of some of their young players coming through.
Where do you think Tom Lynch is at? We just saw in that last contest there, he was outworked by Toby Pink. He was kind of throwing around his body a bit theatrically as well. Do you think he still is holding up his end of the bargain in this developing side?
It's going to be a big call for them at the end of the year, I reckon. I think it's the end of his 7-year contract that he first signed and has hardly played in the previous 2 seasons. So the positive is that he's out there. He looks sore to me and he doesn't look like he can cover the ground. He still kicked 2 and I think took 7 marks or 6 marks and had 7 score involvements. But it was up against Toby Pink and an inexperienced North Melbourne defence that a lot of teams have had their way with. So I think if he gets through this year, you just don't like players going on for one season too long, as we've seen with Nat Fyfe and Travis Boak and for champions of the game. It's always good to bow out with a little bit of petrol in the tank, and that's what you'd probably be encouraging Tom to do at the end of this year.
I think, though, if you're Jonty Fall or indeed Thomas Sims or Harry Armstrong, who's injured, you'd like lining up alongside Tom Lynch, wouldn't you? Because he's still taking the best key defender. He's still intimidating defenders into making mistakes. And as a young forward, it's the hardest position in the game, Kane. Tom Lynch provides a bit of security, does he not, for these developing forwards?
Yeah, I think that's the case for this year, but I think the question's going to be next year. Can he go on again for another year? He looks frustrated to me, like he's getting involved in the off-the-ball stuff, not as much today, free kicks against, and I feel like his set-shot goal kicking has deserted him a little bit. So no worries this year. I think you get him through, probably rest him a couple of times towards the middle and back half of the year to help the young players through. And then at the end of the year, you either go and try and get an experienced one in, try and pinch one from another club, whether it's a Van Rooyen or whether that's a Mitch Lewis from Hawthorn, to play that role for the young players if you're worried about their development.
Hey, hands up if you're in the Sam Lawler fan club.
Well,
put your hand up, Kane.
Right
come on.
It's up. No, it's up. I just think, and we were texting today, like he just rarely makes a mistake. I think he fumbled once today. It's the first time I've seen him fumble all year.
Yes.
And you got to watch him. Yeah, you got to watch him really closely. Like this is a 5-on-1 contested mark in the goal square. Which first-year player has ever done that? Name me a first-year player who's essentially a midfielder that's taking pack marks against 5 opponents in the goal square. So kick 2, like this sort of stuff, just does the right thing at the right time. So I just think how lucky a Richmond fan. You've had Dusty for 15 years and then you've got the automatic replacement for the next 15 to 20 years. It's unbelievable, the fortune, and it's not just fortune, it's really good management for the footy club. It wasn't a consensus that he was going to be the number 1 pick, but that was the man that Richmond identified and they've absolutely nailed it.
I love his hands. They remind me of Shane Edwards, so smooth in congestion. I've got a question for you, Kane. Who would you rather be over the next 5 years, North Melbourne or Richmond?
This won't surprise you. I'll go with Richmond, thanks. I mean, they're just like they're almost even in their development now, and they should be 5 years behind. So somehow things aren't going that well at North with the state of play there and the game plan that Alistair Clarkson is trying to play and having those players really reach their full potential. Like, why is Dersma still a sub? Like, he should be an elite prospect coming through. I don't know why that is the case. So, I think for Richmond in the next 3 to 4 years, after these guys get 50, 60. And there's still some players we haven't seen. We haven't seen Smiley come through. We haven't seen Houghton yet, who's coming off an ACL in his draft year. So there's still a lot of upside for Richmond. And I think they'll be pretty aggressive, like for Harley Reid as well, which I think Kautumi reported on AFL.com.au this week. So if they can land one of those at a youngish age still, then I think it's going to turn around pretty quickly.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.